Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my new video. Now that we're done with the introduction of this character, I will show you what kind of build I'm running with this blade. Some of the people have been asking me, so let's get straight into it. I will talk about skills right now. So we're gonna start off with our opener, which is gonna be Spin Cutter right here. That is thanks to this upgrade skill over here, Open Weakness. For party members, more damage, as well as for you, frontal attacks, back attacks. Blade is mainly back attacking class character. You get free 10% crit chance as well. And if you combine it with some of the engravings, I will talk about it in a bit. So Spin Cutter, out opener. Our other skill is Dark Axle. This is super useful against Guardians because with this you can hop over the Guardians straight into their bag with only this one skill. I'll go with Swift Fingers, Tenacity. High Axle is the upgrade that you can jump over the Guardians. Soul Absorber, one of our main damaging skills, as well as for specialty with this rune. I'm gonna go with Swift Fingers. Most of the skills are gonna be for as fast attack speed or charging as possible. Some dark damage over here, half as well for extra damage. It's also knocking them away, but it doesn't really happen for the bosses, so we can ignore that. Other skill we have is Earth Cleaver. This is our main stagger skill. As you can see, you get Overwhelm a rune here. We will go with Push for some extra mobility. Weak Point for more damage against bosses. Again, Earth Explosion over here too. Our next skill for AoE, one of our best AoE skills, is Moonlight Tonic. Again, dark damage here, Sustained Enhancement for extra damage. Also, it doubles the duration of the attack, which means more hits in that skill. Tonic, again, once more damage. Maelstrom is our buffing ability. It's our second skill in a rotation that I will talk about in a bit as well. Or Control right here for more specialty, for more Z. Bind Dark Order for the buff as well for you, as well as for the party. Movement speed, attack speed, super useful. Another very important damaging skill is Blitz Rush, charging ability. Crit chance right here, charge enhancement, and Shadow Rush right here. And last skill for our rotation is Void Strike. This is also pretty good for AoE, as well as the Death Orb meter gainer. As you can see here with Orc Control, Fist of Darkness, again, dark damage and dark explosion. And when it comes to runes, you're gonna use a lot of the Wealth runes, Galewind as well for shortening the casting speed. So Spin Cutter over here, we can use either Rage or Bleed rune. It's up to you. Both work. It's pretty versatile when it comes to this skill. I went with Rage for extra buffs, attack speed, and movement speed. But you could use even a Bleed rune, or you could even use Quick Recharge as well for some cooldown reduction, which is this one. I have only blue one, I believe. I still have purple too. But yeah, that's my pick. Dark Axle, you want to go with Protection, useful as well. Shield if you use this. You can sometimes get caught up in this from some of the mechanics, so this comes in handy. Soul Absorber, we go with Wealth for its specialty. Earth Cleaver, like I said, Overrun, Stagger, mainly Moonlight Sonic with Galewind, skill casting speed, makes this skill go faster. Don't worry, you will not miss out on the extra hits from this upgraded skill. Maelstrom, I went with Bleed. You could probably go with Focus as well for the mana reduction, which is right here, MP consumption. But I don't have a purple one, sadly. So if I get it, I might use it, but for now I have a Bleed one, because it's AoE, a little aura around you. Blitz Rush, Void Strike, Galewind, once again, to make the skills go faster, pretty much. So this was the skills and the runes. I will talk about the gear right now. Your main priority is Specialization for Blade, and then Crit. I have seen few Blades run the opposite, high Crit, lower Spec. But I really recommend going for Spec because of the Z. I'm playing Remaining Energy Blade. There's other build, I know, you Surge, Chad players. That's a different playstyle than Remaining Energy. I will talk about in a bit. Now, for those of you in Tier 3 you're deciding what set to go with from Argos, either the crit damage one or crit chance. I went with the crit damage one because we get the crit chance, for example, here on Blitz Rush. We get the extra 10% from the blade overall in the back attack, 10% crit chance. It's really up to you. Now, if you have other members with a set in the group, you can get over down there. If you can see total lunar eclipse, crit rate 25%, and crit damage for 50% for 15 seconds. So 18.5% from 517 crit. Really, it depends. It's up to you if you want to go with the crit chance or crit damage. I am gathering the crit chance gear right here, so we'll see if I can notice any difference. But for now, I'm sticking with this crit damage. There's also a card set which is recommended as a budget set that you can get. It gives you 7% crit chance, which isn't that much, but it's still some extra. Now for the jewelry, you wanna go with everything spec except the amulet. Obviously, you wanna have crit on it as well, and that comes down to engravings as well. So remaining energy, most of our skills are charge abilities right here: Void Strike, Blitz Rush, Soul Absorber as well. Our main skill damage ability. So having supercharge level 3 is really important for this build. Now, remaining energy, you are more than fine to use level 1 until tier 3. It is recommended to go for level 3 at tier 3. But even level 1, it still does a lot. Pretty much, when you press Z, it gives you stats for 30 seconds, bonus attack power, which is a lot. Attack speed, movement speed as well. And remaining energy, the difference between this and Surge is when the raids get released, Legion raids, there are going to be more mechanics and you're going to be moving a lot more than what we are used to. So that means Surge, you're going to build up the stacks as well. And sometimes you will miss the attack because of the set mechanics. And remaining energy is more sustainable, so it's easier to land. And I think that this will have more value in the super late game compared to Surge. So that's why I decided to go with the remaining energy ever since the beginning. And Bushmaster, another really important engraving in my opinion for remaining energy blade. The back attacks damage 25% without any downsides. Now we have the Dark Axle that I will demonstrate in a bit. So this pairs very well with the blade as well as Spin Cutter, as I described earlier. Frontal attacks and back attacks 9% damage. Our next one is Adrenaline. This one is probably questionable. Not really questionable. This is another easy source for crit chance, so that's why I went with the crit damage set. This is 15% crit rate, as you can see down below. This is very fluid and fast build. We are pretty much spamming abilities, so I can have Adrenaline pretty much up 24/7. Now, you could use either Grudge or Curse Doll. Those two are recommended for late tier 3 as best in slot, but they both have downsides. Now, I know I could have gone with Grudge, the Super Chad Grudge player, but maybe I will switch to this later on with Walton and Relic Gear. But for now, I'm just sticking to this. Contender, not really ideal on boss fights. This is more for dungeons. Or you have ads, here's dungeons as well. But I happened to get this stone. I was pretty lucky with this one, as you can see, 7, 5, and 2. So I just stick with it. But you could get something else, like Spirit Absorption is pretty good here. Attack speed, movement speed, 3% wouldn't hurt, right? You could also get Keen Blunt at level 3, but they would need high crit chance for that. So I really would focus first on these 3. And then fourth one, I would go Adrenaline, or if you want to go for the Grudge, level 3, or Curse Doll, it's up to you. So this is the engravings. This is very hard to get. My gear is best in slot for many months, upcoming months, besides the set relic gear, of course. But when it comes to engravings and stats, it's decked out. Now for gems, you want to focus on your main abilities when it comes to damage, and both damage and cooldown, which is Soul Absorber, Moonlight Tonic, Void Strike, and Blitz Rush. Now the extra slots should be used for cooldown reduction gems. It's at Maelstrom, Dark Axle, and Spin Cutter right here. Now you can roll, if you don't get what you need, you can roll them at the Gem Fusion NPC, but it costs a lot of silver. So this is gems. When it comes to cards, I don't really have that good cards, so I'm just sticking to the maximum HP. That's why I have over 100,000 HP. You could also go for damage reduction if you are doing like Velganos runs. This is that's the Last Guardian in tier 3, but I'm just sticking to my HP. Now recommended card sets, the budget one, so-called, is Lostwind Cliff, I believe it's called. I can see here I have 4 out of 6 only. If you take a look at the 4th row, Lostwind Cliff 6 set, 12-piece Awakening gives you crit chance, that's 7%. That's why it's recommended to have this setup until later on when you get enough for the last card setup that is super late game. Nobody will have it just yet. It's really hard to get. So if you can awaken these, it's not really that hard. It just takes a lot of grinding. Like you can get Solas from the main story quest if you level from level 1 to level 50, I believe. It is the it is the ending of Lutera maybe. So it's like level 25, 30, I'm not sure. So this would require like 4 hours of playing one character, getting this card, deleting that character, and do it all over again for many hours and many characters, because the more you awaken, the more of the identical cards you need. You can see one awakened part right there, the little golden crystal, whatever. So for level 2 awakened, I would need extra 2 cards, identical. If I'm not mistaken, let's take a look if that's true or not. As you can see, requires 2 identical cards for level 2 right here. So I have 1, I would need another 1. So this is the recommended set for, it will last you for a while. The Endgame, Super Endgame set is Light of Salvation. I have 4 out of 7. And you need to awaken this 18 to 30 awakening piece, which is super hard. As all of these are legendary cards, so don't pay attention to this. Now, another very good set for Blade, as in additional or alternative set, is this 3 Umar families. As you can see down below, if you have awakened these cards 15 times, your back attack damage to foes is increased by 10% and 2% extra, so that's 12%. So you could get these if you're lucky with the drops. That's again, I think from Yorn, if I'm not mistaken, from the main quest, but I could be wrong, so don't take me for granted. So these are the cards. I covered the gems as well, the gear. So let's jump into the rotation. I recommend to line the skills one by one. So we will start from Spin Cutter into Maelstrom, Soul Absorber, Blitz Rush, and then Earth Cleaver, and so on. After you finish the whole rotation, it is recommended to use the specialty, the Z, Death Orb. If you have high enough spec, you will get to 3rd orb, not fully maxed out. But with lower, if you reach 2 orbs, it's fine. Just press Z for the buff from remaining energy and just go from there. Now, little note, if you have a 2nd or 3rd orb filled to the half or quarter, it doesn't have to be filled all the way up. It will still count as the 2nd or 3rd orb. So keep that in mind. You don't have to fill the orb to the top. So yeah, we'll always start from the back attack of the boss. Double Spin Cutter into Maelstrom, Full Absorber, Blitz Rush right here, charge it up, Earth Cleaver, Voice Strike, and Moonlight Sonic right here. You can see I have high spec, so I have 3 orbs. Press Z again for the blade, and go from there once more. Just like that. If you happen to be at the front of the boss, that's where Direct Exit comes in handy. You press it, go behind target's back, and continue your rotation, or whatever. Now, after you always use Awakening after you get the buff from the Death Orb, as you can see here. Attack power 36%, that's a lot. And always keep in mind to have the Spin Cutter on the target, the debuff, which lasts for 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, which is always gonna be there with the buff as well, and then go just with Awakening. So this was the rotation For consumables, you want to use the obvious potions. Blue ones, if you don't have any support in the group, in Argos, for example, or dungeons, you could go with purple ones because you can use 7 of those. Then bombs, depending on the boss, either whirlwind or destruction. Now, if there is no stagger mechanic check with the boss, with the fight, you can get dark grenades for extra 20% damage because it's decreasing all targets' defenses by 20% for 20 seconds. So always use get this and pair it up with spin cutter, again the Z, the bomb, and then for big awakening. If somebody has any questions, hit me down below in the comment section, or I will have the links for Twitch, Discord, and Twitter. You can check it out. If I missed anything, let me know. I'm very sorry. But I think we covered everything. For food buff, you wanna probably use this one. Not that expensive. Not that hard to craft as well. You can craft it in your own stronghold, so you can use this one if you need it. But I think, my fellow gamers, this is it. Just making, double checking everything. Yeah. Right, chat. Everybody, my dudes and dudettes, y'all have a good one. Until next time, take it easy and talk to you soon. All right. Peace.